Hey guys, thank you for watching this. I really wish I could be talking to you in person right now, but with everything going on, this will have to do. If you don't know me, I'm Damon. I'm a senior at Moon. I'm also a leader at Hanging In. And I would like to tell you guys my testimony, how I came to know God through my life and how Jesus Christ has blessed me. So, like any story, I think it would be the best to start at the beginning. So I was born on October 11th, 2001. I was born to Rachel and Tommy in Colorado Springs. They were pretty young when they had me. My mom was 17, my dad was 16. And knowing they couldn't support me being that young, they decided to put me up for adoption. Then a completely different story. 2,000 miles away, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a newly married couple. And they really wanted to have kids, but they weren't able to. And God called them to start adopting. And once they started getting into agencies, the first person on that list was me. And they decided to reach out to Rachel and Tommy, and they talked to them, and they got details of my adoption before I was even born. So once I was born, you have to legally stay in the state for 30 days. So I lived in Colorado for 30 days, and then I got on a plane with my parents, Heather and Brian, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And as I was a kid, I was pretty normal. I played outside. I loved the Steelers. I even used to be pretty cute, just saying. But as I grew up, my parents decided to adopt all my siblings, so my sister from California, my two little brothers from around here, and life was awesome. Up until about 11, I was 11, we went to St. Margaret Mary, and if I'm to be honest, I hated going to church. It was the worst. I hated dressing up, sitting there, and having to be perfect. It was absolutely terrible, but our neighbors, the Robs, they decided to invite us to St. Philip's. So, we're like, yeah, sure, we'll come. And the first time we came, we fell in love with it. When I went down to kids stuff back in 4th grade, everyone was so nice and cheery and happy, and it kind of gave me that relationship that I didn't know I needed as a 4th grader. And looking back from now, I realized that planted the seed for my faith now. And as I grew up, middle school hit, and that cute kid kind of hit puberty, and it was rough. I was real tall and skinny and awkward looking. I was that one kid who was real tall and ton of acne and stuff like that. I always felt real awkward because I felt different than everyone else. I was partially because in the back of my head I knew I was adopted, and I also homeschooled in elementary school, and basically I did everything that was just not bad but just different. And I always it was just always in the back of my head, and I struggled with that, and I was real shy, and everything was real daunting, especially middle school. Middle school was rough. But in 6th grade, my mom tried to get me to come to Hanging In. I really didn't want to. I wasn't really into big social things, and she kind of just put me in the car, and once we got there, booted me out the door and left. So there I am, standing there Hanging In. It's the first one of the year. Everyone's running around. There's kids tackling each other, playing football. There's people yelling from the Gaga pit, and then I'm just kind of standing there I don't know what to do. And so I'm standing there, and I'm already ready to rant to my mom about why she made me go there and how mad I was. And then this guy came up to me. He was a high schooler, and he's like, hey, what's your name? I said, I'm Damon. He goes, oh, nice, I'm Brent. What grade are you in? I told him I was in 6th grade, and he was like, I'm gonna be your leader. And I was like, okay, don't really know what that means, but cool. So I just kind of went about my way, and I started meeting a couple new people. I met more people, and our group, our small group, those guys are still my best friends today. And Brent, I know I could right now call him and talk to him whenever I need to. Same with all my other leaders, Reagan, all them. And all that stuff is just awesome. And since I was going to Hanging In, I really wanted to go to all the camps, so Laurelville and Surf City. And I went to all of them, and we'd always have that 20 minutes of silence. In the beginning, I just kind of sit there and pretend I was praying, because I don't really know how to pray. Praying's not really my thing, twiddle my thumbs. But then in 8th grade, I'm you know what, I'm really going to think about this. I'm going to pray. And I start praying, and God spoke to me. And something clicked in my head, and it was him. And I decided that I wanted to give my life to God. I wanted God to use me as a tool for the kingdom and bring people to him. And straight from there, freshman year, I started going to Acts, and then I started leading at Hanging In. And then Corey blessed me with being able to play worship for you guys. and all this stuff, and like that's my life. I love doing that, and it's so much of a blessing that I'm able to go and see you guys every single Thursday, and it's just awesome. Gonna change my life. Like I'm a much happier person now. It's amazing. But through all the story, I can't say it was all rainbows and unicorns. I've been in some real dark places before and after I gave my life to God. And I've made more than enough mistakes before and after I gave my life to God. And I used to wonder why I'm being so different. I was adopted, homeschooled, did all this kind of stuff. Why I deserve to be able to tell people about who Jesus is. Then God kind of showed me all the people in the Bible that weren't maybe the best fit for the job, but he used them anyway. Like there's Moses, who grew up with the Pharaoh, but God called him to take his people out of slavery. And then there's little scrawny David, who's like the youngest of all of his siblings, and he was called to become the king, and he became the best king in Israel. And then there's even Jesus' disciples, most of whom were rejected by the rabbis, saying that you're not smart enough to do this. Like, you can't be a rabbi like me. And they became fishermen, but Jesus called them back. And he taught them. And they ended up being the first people to spread the good news of Jesus Christ himself. And sometimes we can read those stories and have trouble relating to them. But, like, God calls us to do incredible things. And I just wanted to tell you guys about my life and how Jesus has affected my life, because it's amazing. God is good. Thank you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.